Now, most managers think a quiet word is the safe, human option, but an undocumented conversation is legally invisible if things escalate. The format matters far less than whether you wrote it down. So here's the actual answer. And the decision is not verbal versus written, it is documented versus undocumented. A quiet word is an informal conversation. A written warning is a formal record with procedural weight. But neither legally existed if there's nothing on paper to prove it happens. Arrive at a dismissal or tribunal with no paper trail, and your entire progressive discipline process collapses. The claim that should have been straightforward becomes very difficult to defend. So the real question is not what format to choose, it's whether you recorded it at all. So, when do you use each? The ACAS Code of Practice advises that minor misconduct and unsatisfactory performance can be handled informally with a quiet word. Think lateness on one occasion or a slip in attitude, a small process error. First time, low stakes, unlikely to recur. That is the right territory for an informal conversation. Go straight to a written warning when the issue is serious, perhaps when it's happened before or when it involves safety. If the conduct could reasonably lead to dismissal if it happens again, a written warning is not optional. It is the procedural step that makes any future action defensible. So here's a worked example. An employee is late twice in a month. Quiet word first, documented the same day, and now they are late 4 more times. But now you're in written warning territory and you have the record to show the informal step was taken. Now, the most part people skip is what does each format actually require to hold up? Well, for a quiet word, you need a brief written note to file, made the same day. What was discussed, what was agreed, and the date. And that's it. It does not go to the employee formally, but it exists as a record. Without it, the conversation did not happen in any sense that matters. For a written warning, there are 4 things it must include. First, the allegation, what the conduct was specifically. Second, the expected change, what the employee needs to do differently. Third, the consequence, what happens if the behavior continues. And fourth, the right of appeal. The employee must be told they can change it. Miss any of these and the warning is procedurally weak. Employers who skip written warnings for serious misconduct expose themselves directly to unfair dismissal claims. The warning is not a punishment, it is the evidence that you have acted fairly. So here is the rule of thumb that ties this together. Before you choose a format, ask yourself, could I explain this choice clearly to an employment tribunal? If the answer is no, one of 2 things has gone wrong. You either picked the wrong format for the severity of the issue, or you picked the right format and forgot to document it. Either way, the fix is the same. Match the format to the seriousness and write it down immediately. The record is what protects you, not the conversation, not the intentions, the record. If that was of value, subscribe to the channel for one real business question answered every video. For the same clarity in writing, the website and newsletter is 5minutebusiness.com.